Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a special treat for you, a captivating story that will take you on a journey to a magical garden filled with wonder and enchantment. But here's the twist, this story was actually written by ChatGPT, a large language model trained by OpenAI. Yes, you heard that right. Our AI writer has created a beautiful story that will capture your imagination and leave you breathless. So sit back, relax, and let us take you on a journey to the Forgotten Garden, written by none other than ChatGPT. As a young girl, Lily loved nothing more than spending time in her grandmother's garden. It was a magical place filled with flowers of every color, fruit trees, and a small pond that was home to all sorts of creatures. Her grandmother would tell her stories about the garden, how it had been passed down through generations of their family, and how it was said to be enchanted. Lily never really believed in the enchantment, but the garden held a special place in her heart. As she grew older, Lily's visits to her grandmother's house became less frequent. Life got in the way, and before she knew it, years had passed since she had set foot in the garden. Her grandmother had passed away, and the house was now empty, waiting for someone to claim it. Lily had inherited the house, but she didn't know what to do with it. She had always lived in the city and had no desire to move to the countryside. But something kept pulling her back to the house, back to the garden. One day, she decided to take a trip to the house and see what she could find. As she walked through the overgrown garden, she realized that it was not the same place she remembered. The flowers were wilted, the fruit trees were barren, and the pond was murky and stagnant. Lily felt a pang of sadness in her heart. She knew that her grandmother would have been devastated to see the garden in this state. Lily decided to stay at the house for a few days to try and figure out what she could do to restore the garden. As she was walking through the garden one day, she noticed a small door hidden behind some bushes. She had never seen it before, and she was curious to know where it led. She opened the door and found herself in a dark tunnel. She hesitated for a moment, wondering if she should go in, but her curiosity got the better of her. She took a deep breath and stepped into the tunnel. The tunnel was long and winding, and Lily had no idea where it was leading. She kept walking, her heart pounding in her chest, until she finally saw a light in the distance. She quickened her pace and soon found herself in a beautiful garden. The garden was unlike anything Lily had ever seen before. The flowers were vibrant and alive, the trees were heavy with fruit, and the pond was crystal clear. Lily felt like she had stepped into a different world. She looked around in amazement, taking in every detail. As she walked through the garden, she noticed a man sitting on a bench. He was reading a book, and he didn't seem to notice her. Lily approached him and introduced herself. The man smiled and told her that he was the keeper of the garden. Lily couldn't believe her luck. She had stumbled upon a hidden garden, and she had met the man who cared for it. She asked him how he had managed to keep the garden so beautiful, and he told her that it was enchanted. Lily didn't quite believe him, but she couldn't deny the magic of the place. The keeper of the garden took Lily on a tour, showing her all the secret places and telling her stories about the garden's history. Lily felt like she was in a dream, and she never wanted to leave. As the sun began to set, the keeper of the garden told Lily that it was time for her to go. He gave her a small bag of seeds and told her to plant them in her grandmother's garden. He promised her that the magic of the garden would follow her there. Lily left the hidden garden and made her way back to her grandmother's house, feeling grateful for the unexpected adventure. She planted the seeds that the keeper of the garden had given her, and within a few days, she could see that they were beginning to sprout. Lily worked tirelessly to restore her grandmother's garden. She weeded, watered, and fertilized the plants, and before she knew it, the garden was beginning to come back to life. She could feel the magic of the hidden garden at work. As the weeks went by, Lily began to notice that strange things were happening in the garden. Flowers that she had never seen before began to bloom, and fruits that had never grown in that region started appearing on the trees. The garden was alive with color and beauty, and people from all over the town came to see it. Lily couldn't believe the transformation that had taken place in the garden. It was as if her grandmother's garden had come to life once again, but this time, it was even more beautiful than before. One day, as Lily was working in the garden, she noticed a man standing at the edge of the property. He was looking at the garden with a mix of awe and wonder. Lily recognized him as the keeper of the hidden garden. She ran up to him and thanked him for the seeds that had brought her grandmother's garden back to life. The keeper of the garden smiled and told her that she had a special gift. He said that the magic of the garden had chosen her, and that she had the power to make the world a more beautiful place. Lily didn't quite understand what he meant, but she felt a sense of purpose and wonder. As the days went by, Lily noticed that the garden was attracting more and more attention. People were coming from all over the country to see it, and Lily realized that the garden had become a symbol of hope and beauty. She knew that she had a responsibility to share the magic of the garden with the world. Lily decided to turn her grandmother's house into a garden retreat. She hired a team of landscapers to help her expand the garden, and she opened up the house to visitors who wanted to experience the magic of the garden for themselves. The garden retreat was a huge success, and people from all over the world came to see it. Lily had found her calling, and she was grateful for the unexpected journey that had led her to the hidden garden and the keeper of its magic. Years went by, and Lily grew old. She passed the garden retreat down to her daughter, who passed it down to her daughter, and so on. The garden continued to thrive, and people continued to be touched by its beauty and magic. Lily knew that the garden would live on long after she was gone, and she was at peace with that. She had found her purpose in life, and she had shared the magic of the garden with the world. And in the end, that was all that really mattered.